Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Real Talk for Coaches. I'm your host, Dr. Dawn Reed, aka Coach Dawn, and I'm excited for another episode. You know, guys, I bring you topics that are important to you and important to our clients as coachees. And so this month, for January, we're going to be talking about, how not to set goals. And you guys know January is my month to kind of ding goals. Anybody who has listened to me knows I am not one of those who believe in goal setting, or let me clarify, traditional goal setting. We're going to talk about that with an amazing coach, Coach Nisha, and I'm going to let her talk about herself and who she is in a hot second, because you guys know I got to clean a little bit of house. I just want you guys to remember that we do have some upcoming events. We got classes starting in March, from coaching sensitivity to mindfulness coaching. And in September, we have our coach training programs. And remember, our training programs earn you CCEs. That's continued coaching education credits. And you can use those CCEs if you are pursuing your industry standard coaching credentials. So sign up for those classes, everybody. And next month, I'm excited that the podcast discussion is going to be coaching on sex and intimacy. So, it's Valentine's month. So we got to talk about sex. So we got to talk about intimacy. So make sure you tune in for next month's topic. All right, I cleaned house. I'm done. So now that I've said what I had to say, we're going to get started with this amazing conversation. And so I'm going to let Coach Meshia introduce herself, because you know my motto, y'all. You can tell it better than I could ever tell it. So Coach Meshia, please introduce yourself and tell the audience about your wonderful business.
Yes. Hello, my name is Nisha, and I am the founder of Goals AF. AF stands for Ambitious Females. I know everyone's just like, what the heck is AF?
Exactly what I was like. I like it though. I was like, goal as F, huh? Ooh, I like that. But that's cool. Continue. I love it.
I am a personal development and business coach, and what I primarily focus on is helping my clients reframe their mindset from scarcity to abundance so they could build more confidence and attract what they want in life.
Love it. And we are all about that here at Re Life Coaching. And so I want to thank you again for being a special guest. And really, to be honest with you, goal setting is important to me. So, while I do tell people I don't like traditional approaches to goal setting, I understand the importance that we have to have goals. So with that being said, a lot of people around this time, January and February, are hot. I'm going to start something new types of mindset. I'm going to do a new goal. I'm going to put some, you know, attraction, self-attraction type of stuff into the atmosphere, and do something new for 2022, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, I always struggle with the idea of waiting for the new year to kind of start doing goals. So what are some key factors to you about creating New Year's goals and resolutions, that we coaches should understand, especially when working with clients? And this is the time they come to us. I want to do something new, right? So what would you suggest or say about the whole concept of New Year's resolutions and goal setting in the beginning of the year?
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely like you, Dawn. I feel like, the traditional New Year, New Me is so cliche to say.
Thank you. Yes, cliche. That's the word.
It's just it's for me like how I look at things is like, why are we gonna wait until a specific month to start our goal? Why are we not starting today? Why are we not starting, next week? Like, why are we not implementing it right away?
Right.
So I get it. We kind of have been programmed in a way where it's just like it's a new year that we gotta start doing things new. I don't know if it's the word new that gets everybody
Right.
so
Right.
antsy. I gotta do this. That's why the gyms are always packed between January to February, and then till March it starts trickling down. But it's like I feel like when it comes to like the key factor when it comes to like planning new goals and resolutions is it starts with the mind first.
Yes, agreed.
Um,
Agreed.
having that mindset saying like, you know what, today I want to get up and I want to go to the gym, or let's say I want to wake up at 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The what I like for my clients to do is, kind of connect with them and make them realize like, is your goal realistic?
Right, right,
Which is something that is important. It's, are we creating realistic goals? It's just like some will say, I want $30 million. I want this big 30,000 square foot yacht.
right,
This, that. It's like, okay, I get it. That is definitely, it can happen, but
right,
what are we implementing in our day to day to get there? And the most important thing is implementing a daily habit,
right.
because all we have control of is our present moment, not
Exactly.
our past and not our future. It's our
Right
present
now. Yeah. Yeah.
where we want to be in life. So that's the most important thing I like to implement when my clients do come to me and say, I have a New Year's resolution. This is what I want to do. And I kind of create a realistic plan,
Mm-hmm.
a realistic goal planning for my clients. And I help them really identify, okay, what are your bad habits right now?
Mm-hmm.
What are your what areas are you currently struggling in? Have you healed from certain areas in your life? Or are you bringing that into your day to day and you are bringing that into your possible future?
Mm-hmm.
So, the most important thing in order to move forward is we need to heal from our past trauma. We
True.
need to heal from our past habits. And the moment that we are able to heal, we can then implement new goals, new daily habits. Because if you have that same mindset, everything is kind of going to be the same. Prime example, when people want to hit the gym in
Mm-hmm.
January and then they fall off by March,
Yep. And there's research on that too. Yep.
it's your habits. So those are things that are some like key factors
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to starting new year goals and resolutions. Is let's really tap in with the mindset and let's really implement some realistic goals,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
let's kind of heal from what is the major problem,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can implement all the good stuff.
And you know what? And I definitely see a lot of value in what you just mentioned. And one of the things I do with a lot of my clients is I try to dig deeper into the why. Like,
Yes.
what makes this an important goal to start now?
Yes.
What made it not so important to start last month or in July? Like, what made January 1st or February 1st your day, right?
Exactly. Like,
Because
what really happened to make you be like,
right,
I
right,
need to do
exactly,
that? Yeah.
exactly. Is it that we're in the, like you just said, that I'm going to go so far as say the tradition of trying to create goals in January because that's what we do. That's where our mindset is, that conditioning. Or is it that there is a strong, like you said, why or what, right?
Yeah.
Connecting you to doing it at that time and space. Granted, if you want to do it at that time and space, is not a bad thing, but
Mhm.
being clear, what's your true trigger? Is it because it's New Year's? Because I think that's another reason why a lot of people fall off. Or is it because you really have made up your mind that this is something that I need to pivot or change about? So I totally get what you're saying. There's a lot of value in what you're saying. And I do think that getting to the heart of the person's why, what makes it important now than it did a month before, right? And so with that being said, because we are talking about goals and resolutions, from your perspective, is there a difference between a goal and a resolution, or is it the same? Any thoughts on that?
I feel like it is kind of the same
Okay.
because there is an end goal or resolution. Like we are trying to resolve something. So I definitely feel like resolution and goals are they kind of play hand in hand,
Hand in
to be
hand.
honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, actually, thank you for giving me that perspective. I can feel that. I can get behind that. Yeah, I see it. um, and so you talked about mindset earlier. So how can we, one, because I'm big on there's a coaching mindset, right? We have to have a certain mindset as coaches when our clients are coming to us about setting goals, right? But then we also have to tap into and check our clients' mindset on the goals that they want to set. And you did touch on, like you said, making it realistic. I talked about finding your why. You talked about healing from the past. So there's some things behind it, but is there anything else you can share around mindset for us as coaches, but also for our clients?
Yes. In regards to mindset, um, the most important thing is we need to step out of our comfort zone.
Yep.
A lot of us are comfortable with how things are. But what I also like to implement into my clients is that in order to reframe and kind of pivot and actually scale, we have to be open. We need to be vulnerable. We need to be welcoming and realistic. If we have a set mindset, it's going to keep us capped.
Great. Yeah, I will. Yep.
And
Yep.
when you are really on a journey of progressing and, building confidence and all that great stuff, you kind of got to remove like your ego and your pride to have an open mindset of what is to come from this. As you stated, your why, like what is your real purpose of doing this, and how open are you willing to kind of take this chance? You know what I mean? It's just like
yes. Yes.
Business, when you are a business owner, you're a real risk taker.
Yes.
You have that quality trait. It's just like, girl, I have $100 left, but I'm gonna make this 100 into something. We're gonna figure it out.
Exactly. And being willing to take the risk to say, even if I can't, I'm gonna still try because I think there's a potential, right? Yeah.
That we see that, you know what it is? When I think of like a business mindset or someone who's a risk taker, it's their inner child of being fearful. Ever think of it? Like children are the most they're in their purest phase.
Yes. They're
Like,
fearless.
don't
Children
touch
are
that.
fearless.
Gonna burn your finger.
That's
They'll
right.
be like,
that's right.
What
I
if
wonder. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So it's you that fear of children just being like, well, not that fear, but children being so fearless.
Yes.
That's what we need to tap into when we're on our journey, we're on our self-discovery journey, or whatever journey we're on. We need to be fearless because that makes you unstoppable, and it unlocks this other side of you that you didn't even know existed, or it's been so packed down,
right,
that now it's like, yes, I'm out,
right,
I'm ready.
But you bring up, going back to something you just said, and I think it's really important to dive deeper on, is being willing to be vulnerable and being willing, like you said, to be bold and to be fearless. And I think that's important when setting goals, because sometimes you may have to try something new. You may have to do something different. You may have to face some of your own perceptions and beliefs about your why and what you're doing it for. Like I had a client where they were in a relationship, just as an example, and they didn't really want to leave the person. They knew that the person wasn't good for them. They were getting relationship coaching. They knew they wasn't good for them, but they wanted to leave, but they were afraid to leave. They were afraid that they wouldn't find someone else. They were afraid that what if somebody who didn't like me or didn't want me, right? All of these mindsets and beliefs. So they were willing to stay in an unhealthy relationship because of fear of experimenting and seeing what's out there. Or people who are afraid to look for another look, just look, not even just go interview, but just say, I'm going to look for another job because they feel like they're unhappy in their job. But yet you have a goal that you want to advance your career. And it's that mindset of, it's okay to be vulnerable and admit your mistakes and admit this is where I need to develop. But then you have to have a certain inner boldness to risk the discomfort. Like you said, we got to get comfortable, right? You got to be willing to be uncomfortable, because any goal that you set, like you said, no matter what you do on your journey or where you are in your journey, any goal that you set, you're going to put a risk out there. There's a risk, right? So yeah, I think that point that you made was very important to really kind of hone in on, because I think that people, at least I've seen in some of the clients that I've worked with, there is a fear of change. There's a fear of change and a fear of being vulnerable and being uncomfortable. So that was you hit it on the nose, as they say. So with that being said, when should we really work or partner with our clients in the whole creation of a goal, especially when it's a new year mindset? Like, I guess what I'm asking is, how do you approach it with your clients? They're coming to you and it's like January 3rd, January 4th, and they're like, yeah, so I got some New Year's resolutions and here's my bucket list. What's your typical approach to really tap into that inner boldness, that vulnerability, that fearlessness?
So when I'm dealing with my clients, prime example, I have a client who, she's very earthy, as I like to say.
I like that word.
She's very like into like nature, naturalistic, you know what I mean? And she has a divine energy about her that I just love. And one struggle is, sometimes when it's something new and it's challenging, she sometimes shuts down.
Yep. I've seen it. Yep.
So what I like to do is, I remove like the business side of coaching that I'm teaching her, and I kind of tap into the personal development side, and I'll be like, you know what, okay, let's take a step back on what we're actually supposed to do, and let's tap in as to why you're feeling this way.
Right.
I feel like the most important thing is to ask my clients the right question. Some of them are, they go into their comfort zone when they are feeling a little bit out of comfort.
Yeah. Very true.
Put on defense mechanism. Like sometimes if you ask them a certain question and just like, wait,
what? Yeah. What? Hold on, wait. Yeah.
The most important thing for me is to be like, okay, I see that this was a bit of a trigger for them. Let me dive deep into why this is bothering them, because this could be something that could make or break
their
journey.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's important to, it's good to kind of nurture your clients and just reinforce them that like, like this is a safe place. You didn't connect with me for no reason.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So it's building that rapport between the two where we are comfortable enough to express how we feel,
Mm.
and to reinforce that in this journey we are diving deep on areas that are really holding us back.
Mm-hmm.
So asking the right questions in a respectable way to make them understand, like, hey, I'm here to help you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I do.
Um,
Yeah.
let's dive deep. Let's really connect on that. Let's really touch on that. Why are you feeling this way? At what point during this conversation did you feel a bit of resentment, or you just wanted to instantly shut down? So I really like to nurture,
Mm-hmm.
because I have a nurturing spirit about me, and it just comes second nature. So I feel like that's why it makes sense when I'm dealing with clients, or I have complete strangers or family and friends come up to me and they pour their heart out
Yeah,
to
yeah,
me.
yeah. Yep.
Just
Yep.
like you're so calm. Like, how are you so calm during everything? And I'm just like, took me a minute.
To develop that skill, right? Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. But I'm just like, like for me, I naturally see the good in everything,
Mm. And
even
so,
when.
no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disrupt, because the thing that hit me with what you're saying is, so it sounds like you approach this, one, from a nurturing perspective, two, you hold space for the client to process that feeling, right?
Yeah.
To hopefully, I guess the goal would be to tap into building that inner boldness by nurturing them and holding that space for them. So I just want to make sure I'm hearing
Yep, you're hearing.
clearly your approach. Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool.
A little backstory in regards to me, as these past 3 years, I would say, has really molded me 10 times more today,
Mm.
because I was in a 11-year relationship slash marriage.
Okay.
Yes, I was. We divorced, and there's a lot of emotions that go through it.
Yep.
You have your family in your ear
Yep.
saying, it's been 11 years, you need to work on it, blah blah blah. And for me, I was just like, no, I think it's time to call it wraps.
Mm-hmm.
Great individual.
Right.
Feel like Not I feel like I know when I'm put in certain situations, it's because I'm supposed to be there.
Right.
So I don't question my journey. I'm just like, okay, you know what, I'm supposed to be here. What am I supposed to learn from this?
Right.
There was an expiry date that I wasn't aware of, but it happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, what did you learn from this? And girl, when I say it taught me so much about myself, it
Mm-hmm.
taught me about healthy boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
It taught me about it's okay to put yourself first. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay to work on yourself during a relationship. It
Right.
taught me to not lose sight of my identity. It taught me to build extra confidence, because I always had confidence, but I
Mm.
kind of suppressed myself
Understood.
because I didn't want I always cared about other people's feelings
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really put myself first.
Yeah.
So it really taught me a lot during that time in 2019. I think I moved about twice in 1 year. There was just so much change that had occurred, and it just really molded me to be a more solid Nisha. So
Mm-hmm.
when I see my clients go through these little phases, or like when I'm having conversations with them, like I kind of resonate with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand a proper way to handle it.
Right.
And it's because during that healing stage of my own personal development, I nurtured myself a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I feel like it's important for me to implement that as well, because I know how it made me feel,
Right.
and it made me feel great. So one thing I always want when working with my clients is I want them to feel safe. I want them to feel at peace. I want them to continue to build trust with the relationship that we have with each other. So
Understood. Understood. And
Yeah.
so I'm really definitely hearing a lot of taking your own experience in life and understanding how to integrate some of that into your approach. Thank you for sharing, such a personal experience. And I'm sure my listeners and your listeners too will appreciate, the that personal connection to tap into it. And I know one thing that is part of the mindset part for us as coaches too is also remembering to keep that balance of we don't want to project, right, our beliefs and thoughts on our clients as well. Like,
Right.
just like I shared with you, I know that my approach to goal setting is not traditional,
Mhm.
but I also have to respect my clients' wishes of this is what they want. You know what I mean? And this is why we ask those tough coaching questions and we challenge the fears, right, that they might be having. Or we present or share the authentic part of who we are to help our clients give themselves permission. Like you said, like your experience is something that would give your clients permission to do the same for themselves, to say, I can make this choice for myself. But
Exactly.
that coaching mindset for us as coaches is also to be careful because we don't want to over project, right? Because we don't want our clients to feel like they're supposed to do what we want them to do.
Exactly. And
You know
it's
what I
never.
mean? Right. Right. Good. Yeah. Let's see. So, you know, we mentioned it earlier, but I think it's worth really diving deep in a little bit more is why do you think people fail at their goal setting? Any other than what you've stated, like is there anything else you can think of that reduces the chances of success?
I feel or I understand that why most people do fail at their goals is, well, I did say it's sometimes it's they're more looking on a grand scale.
The bigger picture.
They're looking at the bigger picture. But the most important thing, as I expressed, is small goals,
Mm,
micro goals.
micro
Those
goals.
are, yeah, those are the most important key factors of having a successful goal.
Yep.
And by doing so is once again your daily habits. What do you do every day? How do you think
Great.
every day? Do you wake up in the morning and you scroll over and you're just on your phone?
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
It's the habits,
Yep.
your habits that you're building. It's the discipline that is also important. I feel the reason why most sometimes do fail as well is they lack the discipline.
Mm, mm-hmm,
You know what
mm-hmm.
it's like the beginning of a relationship. It's the infatuation stage. You're just like, oh my gosh, and you're like 2 years going, you're like, oh,
Yeah, yeah. I didn't notice that before. Like that's kind of annoying.
then you start getting back into your comfort. You go back to what you
Yeah.
are familiar with.
Yeah.
And as the year goes by, and you're just like, God, dang it, I'm gonna start again.
Yep.
So you really need that discipline, your daily habits, your mindset is three things that is important for a successful goal and being present.
Mm.
We
Being able.
sometimes
Mhm.
fantasize about our past and our future that we don't know how to be present, and that's the only thing we have
That's
control
true.
over
That's it.
is
Right now, this very moment, in this
ex-
moment. Exactly. Exactly. You said a lot of great points. You did. You said a lot of great points that got me thinking. So, one, like you said, the bigger picture, and also that people bite off more than what they can chew. And you mentioned it earlier where you're like, people like, yeah, I want $30 million, right? Or I want to lose 100 pounds in 1 month. And the goals are unrealistic because it's overwhelming. It's like, okay, you want this big thing and you're not giving yourself space to retrain your mind. You're not giving yourself space to put some little tasks, those micro goals in place so that you
Exactly.
can make incremental milestones, right?
Yeah.
And incremental successes along the way. And
Mhm.
so I think that is very important for people to understand that it's not how big or lofty the goal is. And you can say you want $30 million, you want to lose 100 pounds, and that's a noble goal. But
Yep.
there's steps that's in
Absolutely.
between the want and the outcome,
Yes.
right? So that I definitely resonate with that. And one of the other things I think people fail at, and I created something called the smarter goal. So most people are familiar with SMART goal, right? You know,
Yep.
it's specific, it's measurable, it's achievable, it's time bound. I say, oh no, it's realistic, it's time bound. So SMART. So I added instead of the A, attainable, accountability, and the R is resources. And I
Okay.
found that when I started implementing this particular model, there was greater success in my clients achieving their goals. Because
Mhm.
what I found out in doing my research on this is that people do these great goals, but then they don't have anything that support the goal, like resources that'll help me through it, or somebody's going to hold me accountable to myself and the
Mhm.
agreement that I've made, right?
Yes.
And so when my clients come to me for goal oriented types of coaching, I immediately put in the smarter goal model because
Mhm.
it gives them those two pieces that the research has shown this is where people fail. And
Yes.
so, just kind of piggybacking on the great points that you've made about why people fail, have you seen that also in your practice where that accountability piece and really making sure people understand their resources and really setting up that if they don't meet a milestone, how are they going to mitigate that? Like, have you seen those pieces missing in goal setting as a failure component?
Definitely. And in my coaching, my strategy is also I let my clients know, I'm like, listen, accountability is big.
It's huge.
We need
It's
to take
huge.
accountability for areas that we are lacking in.
Right. Yep.
And it's like me as your coach, I'm your biggest cheerleader, but I'm also here to let you know, like, hey, if there's areas that you are lacking in, let's say if there was an assignment that I sent over and it wasn't met,
Mhm.
we're going to have to discuss that. We're going to have to hold you accountable because at the end of the day, you are in control of your journey.
Yep. This is your journey. Yep. And if
And
you want the results you want, you got to be accountable for it. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. And how I look at life is when someone wants something,
Hmm.
come high and low, they will find.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when I see
Yes.
someone like in that same effort, you have to sit back and be like, like how bad do you want this?
How do you want it? Yep.
Mean to you? Like, how would you feel if you actually reach this goal?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
we got to be accountable. We need to be determined. We got to stay motivated. And it's my job to help you stay motivated, provide you with clarity, but at the same time, it's your job to make sure that you are doing
The
because
work.
I can't
Yep.
make this magically happen for you.
Yep.
You got to
Yeah.
work this
Yeah.
block.
Yeah. I can't want it more than you do. And I tell my
Exactly.
clients that all the time. I cannot want this more than you do. You got to want it way more than me. And one of my favorite questions is, what are you willing to sacrifice to get to this, whatever it is you want? And it always get my clients like, oh, because we don't think about what do we got to give up? What's going to be uncomfortable? And I'll even ask that question, what are you willing to be uncomfortable with
Mm-hmm.
in this journey? And it
Exactly.
it always seems to stump them because they're not used to thinking about that there are sacrifices. Like if you're
Yeah.
gonna lose weight, you're gonna have to exercise. That's part of it. You're gonna have to change your diet. That's a sacrifice. You know what I mean? What are you willing to give up, right, to
Yeah.
get to that goal? So and I think that when we can help our clients answer those questions and hold them accountable, we help them increase their chances of success. Which leads me into my last question. I tell you, time goes by quickly when you start talking about this good stuff. How can we as coaches, or what 3 things that you feel like we as coaches can really do to really help our clients set successful goals?
Top 3 things is, 1, we could help them identify their goals.
What did they want to do? Yeah.
Exactly. 2, we have to make sure that it is achievable, these goals, especially in the time frame that they are looking to get these goals done. And 3, is it really believable?
Right.
We need to be, I always like to say it, but we really need to be realistic with these goals, and we need to dive deep and ask our clients, like, like, what does this mean to you? What is success to you? How do you envision your future self, and how can you implement that today with your present self? What are the things that we need to do? And we as coaches, we are our clients, like, we support them. We guide them, we motivate them, we provide them clarity, we provide them, we empower them, we provide them hope. But as we said before, it's like they need to want this more. They need to, we could wipe the little fog on their mirror, but like it takes them to be like, oh, I could see it.
I can see,
I can feel it. I can taste it. I could
be it. I could do it. Yeah. Yep.
You tap into your mind and be like, have you ever just spoke to someone, you just got like chills after having like, so much clarity? That is you, like, I'm ready for this.
Yep. That aha moment. It's that aha moment. Yep.
So that's the real key to like success, is we need to, as clients, as coaches, help our clients have their aha moment where they are like, all right, they got the NOS, they're ready to put that.
Ready to do it. Yeah.
So that's like the most important thing for success, as to help our clients really see success.
Exactly. I love it. Well, again, it was an honor and a pleasure. I want to thank you for your time and a great discussion. So to all our listeners out there, hopefully those of you who are coaches, you found some value. You could take away some of these tips and information through this discussion. For those of you who are clients or who are coachees, or you're just somebody who want to set some goals. We all try to set goals anyway. I think some key takeaways in this is, 1, you can set your goals at any time. You don't have to wait till the new year. You can do it now, right? It's be present. Just be present in the moment and know your why. Be very clear about your why. Do small goals. Let's see if we can lose 1 pound in a week versus 100 pounds in a month. Let's take it step by step. And I would also add on, celebrate those milestones. You hit a milestone, do something good for yourself, right? So
clap for yourself. Like, I always love to tell my clients this. I'm like, listen, girl, you just crushed.
You rock. Exactly.
Like, you are doing it. Like, let's celebrate.
Yeah, let's celebrate that. And my clients think I'm crazy because, girl, I will sit here and I will put on some "Let's Celebrate" and start dancing. They be like, "Coach Dawn, you are nuts." I'm like, I know, but we gotta celebrate. This was big. And they was like, it makes a difference. Even though it might sound over the top, it does make a difference because then they actually get excited for the next goal that they achieve, right?
Exactly. Nobody ever forgets how they feel. So in that moment, they're just like, "Ooh, I got to win. That
I
felt
gotta
good.
win. Exactly. And that felt good. And,
A little
and
win.
then
I want to do that
exactly. I want to do that again. And they'll come with the next one. It was like, I just completed this one. And then he'd be all like this. And I'd be like, okay, here's the music. Then I put the music on. And then then all of a sudden we into it too. So it might start off crazy, but by the time we're done, they feel so encouraged and motivated. So yeah, so if you're when you set your goals and your little milestones, when you hit a milestone, celebrate. Pat yourself on. I did it. I did it. You can give yourself kudos. And and like you said, be realistic. Be realistic, and make sure you have accountability. And that's what we're here for, Coach Meshia, Coach Dawn. We're here as your accountability partners, and we're the ones that will make sure we hold your feet to the fire, and we're gonna make sure we challenge you. Like you said, you mentioned, challenge your client when something doesn't sound realistic. And that's our role as coaches. So I hope that, those are some key takeaways that came out of this amazing discussion with Coach Meshia. And you hit on a lot of very valuable points that I think both coaches and clients can really glean from. And so you guys, you heard it here. Coach Meshia, tell us very quickly how people can reach you, honey.
Thank you. So you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Goals, Goals, A as in Apple, F as in Frank, CO. Also on my website, www.goalsafco.com.
Awesome sauce. Please go check out Coach Meshia. She is amazing. I just had a wonderful conversation with you, darling. And you are now considered a friend or family member of the show. So we would love to have you back at a future date. If you'd like to bring some more topics, we would love to have you. We also have a newsletter. So if there's an article that you'd like to share, please submit it and we will try to feature it in our next newsletter. So again, everyone, thank you for listening to Real Talk. Thank you for listening to Coach Meshia. Go check her out. And we love you guys. Go out there, create awesome sauce for yourself and for others.